Okay, so let's go through the infotainment of the i3. So here, let's start with multimedia. Here you can use a music collection, which is actually located on the hard drive that's in the car. So you simply put a USB drive into the USB socket of the car, and you can upload a really large number of tracks. Here, if I just reset search, I've got 1,600 tracks. So this is all in the hard drive of the vehicle. Another thing, all right, you've got external devices here. So here, very simply, there would be your USB drive that you have on the moment. You can actually read videos as well if they are on the drive. You can have, of course, you have your Bluetooth, so you've got different phones, and you've got an auxiliary port that's just below the armrests. Then you've got radio. Of course, radio, you've got your FM, AM, and DAB as well. It's pretty comprehensive. Your phone, of course, so that's typical phone system. You've got controls on the steering wheel for that. You've got then your navigation. So you can, of course, input a destination like any vehicle. So, for example, here we want to go to Tarbert Island. We start guidance, and it will calculate it. So that's pretty easy. I like the navigation.
The arrow on the display. When leaving, please turn right onto N20.
I like this navigation. It's pretty smooth. As you can see here, it zooms automatically, of course, depending on the angle. You can have either a satellite picture if you're zoomed out, but if you're zoomed in, you will have the street, of course. You can zoom in and out just by rotating the knob in between the seats. And if you are in a city, you can actually see the actual buildings and monuments in 3D on this screen. So that's pretty cool. Here you can see there is a split screen. So here I've got my onboard computer, but you can remove it if you want a wider angle map. But you can also, if you prefer, use the split screen, and on the screen you can choose to have, for example, map perspective or your position. So if you check your position, you will have your position. We are in Malo at the moment here, but we can have, for example, the arrow view. That will be your arrow. You know that in 200 meters you've got to turn right. So you can really personalize the screen there, and it's very useful. What I'm doing here is usually it's simple. I would just use the, let's go back there onto the map. All right, split screen. I usually put the onboard computer. That would be mine, but of course each is their own. You've got different routes when you navigate, so you've got different criteria, and you can this way choose if you want not only the fast and the shortest route, but also the Eco Pro route. So that's the route that will consume the least kilowatt hours. If you know that you're going to be a bit short in terms of range, that's quite a useful thing to do. You can, of course, avoid motorways, ferries, toll roads, etc. Now let's go back to the main menu. So here you've got your contacts, of course. And below, you've got connected drive. So depending on the version you have, you will be able to do a number of features. This car at the moment is not fully connected. So, for example, online search does not work. But if you have this option, you take a subscription, you can basically do an online search like you would in Google. So simply you just say the location that you want to go to. For example, you just spell out Cliffs of Moher, and it will just find it and navigate directly for you. So that's quite useful. It will also show you a street view picture directly from Google Map on the right hand side of your screen. So you can actually see, for example, if it's a house that you've entered, if it's a personal address, you will see a picture of the house. So you've got a number of functions, but they are not all in action here. However, there is app support. So you have an application with your BMW i3 that works all the time. No need a subscription for that. And you can simply connect your phone to your Google Calendar. And this way, if you want to navigate to a particular place that is in your Google Calendar, you can very simply send this location to the car and it arrive here as a message. So for example, pretty sure I've got one in my mailbox. You've got your messages here. And for example, here, I'm going here and I've got the address. I can just start guidance and I'm going to go to Charleville, County Cork.
Please
here.
follow the arrow on the display. When leaving, please turn right onto N20.
So it's very quick. And if you type a precise address, sometimes it's easier to put it in your phone from the desktop because you're not in the car when you know the address you have to navigate to, and you just send it in a minute. So it's super handy. It's really something that I like to use. So here we've got vehicle information. So you've got basically the owner's handbook in here. So lots of information. It's going to be a bit difficult to go through everything. So you've got alphabetical order here, and you can go through any element. It's just a manual that is somewhere here instead of being in a book. So it's quite handy to have it. You've got your onboard computer, so this is very standard. Your range, destination, of course, it will tell you if you're not going to make it and if you should look for a charging station. So here there is the trip computer. Well, in this case, I don't really reset it. I usually reset the onboard computer. So you can see I've done over 9,999 kilometers. And that's the average consumption, 15.7. That could be interesting to know that. It's not very, very good, you might think. I do agree. The thing is, I'm not sparing any electricity when I do my daily commute. Vehicle status here. You've got a few information that could be useful. That's the tire pressure monitor. So here it doesn't show because we're stationary, but as soon as the car starts driving, you will have the tire pressure in this screen. And here you can also see the service checks. So if something needs to be done, it will show here. So for example, here in October, I will have to do the vehicle inspection and the NCT. All right, let's go back there. So we went through the whole vehicle information. The last thing is settings. So here you've got a number of things. So of course, you've got your Eco Pro mode. That's something you can adjust. So you cannot adjust the comfort mode or the sports mode if you have an i3S, but if you have, you can actually adjust the Eco Pro settings. So the first thing you can do is set a speed limit. So in this case, it's 110, so you can change or remove it. And you can also have a specific climate control setting. So in this case, it will be lower to go up in temperature in winter. So you can remove it if you want. Then you've got all the normal charging elements. So of course, if you want preconditioning, you can go here, put your departure time, depending on the day, depending on what you have, and your commute. Of course, charging, you can choose to charge immediately or only off-peak. I do have off-peak price for my electricity provider, so I do use midnight to 9 a.m. tariff. And here you can actually adjust your charging speed if you use your granny cable or your regular cable. That's good if you are not sure what is the installation. If you plug your trip-in plug somewhere, you can reduce the number of amps. It's an interesting thing to do. Not many cars can do that. And then here you've got, this is very standard really. So you can You can display some things on the cluster that's in front of the steering wheel. You've got control display, so that's your brightness, etc. Traction control, you can turn it off. Language units, of course. Of course, you can adjust the sound if you want, but that's very standard. Here, this is your speed warning, so that's something on top of it. It will warn me if I am 127, which is actually 120 kilometers on the GPS. So that means I'm doing an excess speed, so I've got this set. Also, about the climate control, so you can actually activate the auxiliary climate when you are stopped and fast charging. It's so here you cannot do it from right now, but if I'm fast charging, I can just go there and start the heater independently. I can also change the ambient lighting. So you've got two colors. You've got classic mode, which is kind of orangish, and modern mode, which is more white. So that's the ambience lighting of the car. You can adjust a few things. So the welcome light, that's the interior light when you arrive, when you unlock the car. Your home lights, that's the headlight when it's like follow me home or something like this. You can turn this on from the remote of the car for 60 seconds. And also here you can even adjust the number of flash that happen when you operate the turning signal. So you see, there's a lot of adjustment you can really do here. Something interesting here as well is that you can choose what you do with your key. There is one button here, it's kind of a lozenge, and you can actually decide what it does. So you can choose if you want to activate the climate control, or open the tailgate, or open the tailgate plus the door, or just the home lights. So I put it on the home lights, but basically you can personalize one of the 4 buttons that are on your key. All right. You've got profiles as well. Of course, depending on the key, you can affect profiles, and that's it. Software update. It's not over the air, but it exists. All right. So that's about it. I think we went through pretty much everything that's interesting into this menu. Yeah. So hope you liked it. Thank you.